I was going to say that Luke McCowan. Look, I was going to say worried if you're a Celtic fan, but I think we're beyond that now.
I thought the comments were. I thought there was just red flags and alarm bells all over the comments, and I think he tried to be. How would you put it? I think he's tried his best to carefully vet his own words, but the message, it seems to me, directly to the Celtic supporters, what can we do here? He's almost saying, you know, the players have got no choice. We have to, and he's saying, I know I keep saying we have to just keep believing and all this, but the sort of tone, I thought, of the words and the quotes are quite extraordinary. And I think it's a window into that dressing room right now. And he's not even one of the senior guys. So that's what Luke McCowan is thinking and prepared to say in public. I mean, I've seen a few of the comments coming up there. Cal McGregor hasn't been rolled out to speak to the media in his role as captain and you know, it's almost astonishing because, you know, it was Cal McGregor would get, you know, wheeled out to face the questions and the cameras and the mics on an almost weekly basis. But for whatever reason, that's not happening. And you listen to what Mick's saying there, and I think he's absolutely quite right. I think it's a key point. I think it's one of the major flaws in the system is that Cal McGregor's not able to dominate matches from the position that Wilfried Nancy wants him to play in. And I think that must frustrate the life out of him. It has to. He's dominated this particular fixture for years. And Rangers, a succession of different Rangers managers have tried to come up with a formula which kind of neuters his influence. And very rarely has it been successful. More often than not, Cal McGregor runs the Derby Day. But he's not getting close to running anything right now, any of Celtic's games, because he's been shifted out of position and he's having to fulfill the demands or the tactics of a manager. And I think Cal McGregor, I would understand it if Cal McGregor had a major problem with that.
See, just before we wrap up on Celtic, Keith, a couple more comments. Stephen Kennedy says, toxic atmosphere yesterday. The 40-odd years supporting Celtic, I've never seen anything like it. And AJSC Tech says, the Celtic players have already sacked Nancy, so should the board. And just to finish on it, I can't get away from that. This isn't going to turn around. There's no way Nancy comes back from this.
I would tend to agree. This is what I'm saying. There are, as I said, just those little moments where you feel someone is starting to unravel, and we've seen it with countless managers in this Glasgow environment. It happens. It's not pleasant, by the way. It's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's unedifying. But I just thought I saw the first signs, the first stages of that on Friday. Where I felt he was starting to lose control of his own inner emotions. And,
do you know,
that translates into the dressing room. I don't care what you say, Daniel. If that's your leader and you think the guy might be losing it, then if you've got doubts and players are very quick to talk about, you know, and not so much in public, but between themselves, when they don't like the manager, when they don't believe in what they're being asked to do, if he's struggling even with the basics of leadership qualities, facing it up, fronting it up, dealing with it, then I'm afraid that will get talked about. I'm afraid that will have been discussed inside Celtic's dressing room. Did you see the gaffer? Did you see that press conference?
Definitely, right. I mean, I was going to say there that I've got sympathy for him in regards to there's players in the Celtic team that aren't, you know, typically Celtic players. Johnny Kennedy, maybe Ralston, maybe even McCown. But
excuse, we know this. What
I was going to say is after 18 goals conceded in 8 games, if you're not changing it, well, can I have any sympathy for you if you're still going with these kamikaze tactics?
Look, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Dan, and I think we said this once before. Celtic right now are a weakened, degraded group. Yeah, I think everybody can accept that. The board's mishandling of the transfer market and transfer windows has made sure of it. So, if this is a depleted group of players, and if they're struggling to win matches, when everybody's playing in their own natural position and in a system with which they're familiar and they know that like the back of their hand, how can you expect to move all your square pegs into round holes, give them something completely new, overload them with information, and expect different results from what you're getting? And as I said as well, Daniel, yes, it'll be interesting to see when Wilfried Nancy does get his signings in, and I believe that will happen. Then he might be able to turn around and say that we knew nothing and he knew everything. And but even if it does, even if Celtic are sensational after January, the damage that's getting done right now there might be no way back for them. Right. They might have blown this title because of his intransigence. It makes no sense.